Okay, good morning, everybody. So how's everybody? I hope all of you are doing well. Just give me a minute as I set up my device and then we'll be ready to go. Okay, just give me a minute. Okay, this is taking longer than usual. Give me a second, guys. Okay, so the device is all set up now. Okay, sorry for the delay. So we're 130 people right now. Okay, let's see. Okay, Rajeshwari, Bhumika, Pritish, Chetan, Roshan, Soumya, Prajwal, Baswaraj, Naren, Rajnandan, Lasya, Adarsh, Chandrika, Sushmita, Rashmi, Sanjana, Anil, Khushi, Ayushi, Ruchi, Vijayalakshmi, Kirtan, Advait, Prakriti, Vidya, Tarun, Abhishek, Sri Gauri, Harish, Swati, Fiza, Shreya, Karthik, Sanjana, Raksha, Tejas, Sindhu, Ullegadi, I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Sorry if I didn't. Mahavirya, Vijay, Sushma. Okay, Tripti, Anand, Shravana. Good morning, everybody. Great to see you guys here. Okay, good morning, Jyoti. Okay, so I think we should start the class without any further delay. We're already a couple of minutes late. Okay, take it. So today is your today is your final and last lecture of Human Health and Diseases. Today is lecture number 12. Okay, we are already done with 11 lectures, so today would be the final lecture. Today will be the final lecture of this particular chapter, and today we'll wrap up the chapter. Okay, and tomorrow we'll have a problem solving session. Tomorrow we'll have a problem solving session based on this chapter, so that you guys are well prepared for your MT. And tomorrow at the end of the problem solving session, we'll also have the Kahoot. So those of you are interested, you can stay back after the problem solving session and we'll play Kahoot. Okay, so good morning, Kashi. So shall we start the class without any further delay? Okay, so let's start the class without any further delay. And just one thing before I start the class, I'm expecting a parcel. So I might have to receive a call in the middle, and I might have to go downstairs to pick up the parcel. Don't worry, it won't take more than 2 to 3 minutes. Just giving you a warning ahead. If I suddenly switch off the video, that means, or if I get a call which I have to pick, that means my parcel has come, right? The guy said that he would deliver it around 12, but you never know with these people. Okay, anyway, so let's start. So yesterday what we did was that yesterday we started the class with cancer, and yesterday we started with the diagnosis of cancer. How is the diagnosis? How is the cancer diagnosed, and what are the techniques that we use for diagnosis? So we saw that biopsy is used, then CT scan is used, and then MRI scan is used, to diagnose cancer. And then we looked at treatment of cancer. Okay, and when it comes to treatment of cancer, okay, so in treatment of cancer, so we looked at radiotherapy. Okay, we looked at chemotherapy. We looked at immunotherapy, and there was also one that was your surgery. So those were the 4 methods of treating cancer. Okay, and after that we started with addiction. We saw that there are 3 types of addiction. In yesterday's class, we did tobacco addiction, okay, and we did alcohol addiction. And today we'll be doing the 3rd type of addiction, that is your drug addiction. Okay, so start karte beta as always with couple of revision questions. So the first question, this question is from your NCERT exemplar. This question is from your NCERT exemplar. Okay. Okay. Now, a person with sickle cell anemia is, okay, how many of you know what is sickle cell anemia? Could you please press on yes or no if you know what is sickle cell anemia? Could you please press on yes or no if you know what is sickle cell anemia? So that would give me a fair idea. Okay. So actually sickle cell anemia is a disease that you guys will learn in the 5th chapter, that is your genetics chapter of genetics. So in sickle cell anemia, as the name suggests, your RBCs become sickle shaped. Sickle shape kaun sa hota hai beta? तुमने वो देखा होगा किसानों के पास, they have this thing which they use to chop off grass with or crops with. So this is a sickle. So your RBCs become like this. Your RBCs become crescent shape. So that is known as sickle cell anemia. That is known as sickle cell anemia. It is a genetic disorder. So that is why you learn it in the chapter of genetics. Okay. So the question is, very good. In PUBG, sickle is there. I don't know, those of you PUBG, you might have seen sickle. Okay, those of you have not. The instrument that the farmers used to cut crops with, now they don't, but they used to. Okay. That is known as sickle cell anemia. That is known as sickle. Do I play PUBG? No, I hate PUBG. Okay. So a person with sickle cell anemia is more prone to malaria, more prone to typhoid, less prone to malaria, less prone to typhoid. I doubt any of you would know. The answer for this. You can take a blind guess. It's okay. Then I'll tell you what the answer is. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So the poll is now live on the screen. Okay. So I've told you what sickle cell anemia is. In sickle cell anemia, your RBCs are sickle shaped. Your RBCs are sickle shaped. Your RBCs are sickle shaped. Okay. Okay. So let's. Okay. So 5 seconds and I'll close the poll. 46% of you voted. Anyway, most of you are taking a blind guess on this, so it won't matter much. Okay. 3, 2, 1, and let's stop. Okay, so let's see. So 43% of you think that A is correct, 25% of you think B is correct, 27% of you think C is correct, and 6% of you think D is correct. Right? Okay. So the correct answer is C. They are less prone to malaria. Okay. So what happens in sickle cell anemia is your RBCs are sickle shaped. Okay. And this disease is fatal if the person is not treated from it right from birth. Okay. And it is a genetic disease. This is something that you have from birth. So it is seen that sickle cell, so people who have sickle cell anemia, they are less prone to malaria, because the people who have sickle cell anemia, okay, their body produces certain enzyme which restricts the growth of the malarial protozoan. What exactly is the mechanism by which they restrict the growth of the malarial protozoan? That is something that is beyond the scope of the syllabus. Actually, that is something that you guys won't even study in your bachelor's or master's. Okay, because this is something that was only discovered 7 years ago. Like people knew that people who have, scientists knew that people who have sickle cell anemia, they are less prone to malaria. But why? Okay, why are they less prone to malaria? That is something that was discovered, I think, in 2011 or 2012. Right. So actually, their RBCs produce a special type of enzyme which restricts the life cycle of the malarial protozoan. So it is seen that sickle cell anemia is more prevalent in those regions where the malaria cases are very high. So sickle cell anemia is something that is very rampant in Africa, because in Africa the malaria is much more prevalent than it is in any other continent. So a lot of sickle cell anemia cases are seen there, because sickle cell anemia provides immunity provides immunity against your malaria. Yes, merozoites attack RBCs, but that is what I'm trying to say, Pritish, that the RBCs of people who suffer from sickle cell anemia, they produce a unique chemical which, or I should say enzyme, which restricts the growth of the malarial protozoan inside the RBCs. That is why they do not get affected that much, and that is why sickle cell anemia is much more prevalent in those regions where the malaria disease is rampant. Okay, so this is something actually which we'll study in 5th chapter also. What exactly is sickle cell anemia? You in 5th chapter you will study what causes sickle cell anemia, which gene is responsible for sickle cell anemia. For right now, for this chapter, you just need to know that if somebody has sickle cell anemia, then they are less prone to malaria. Okay, okay. Chalo, let's look at the next question. Next question is simple. Next question is simple. Sorry. In alcoholics, liver gets damaged as it secretes more bile, stores excess of glycogen, accumulates excess of fats, all of the above. Okay, so in alcoholics, liver gets damaged as it secretes more bile, stores excess of glycogen, accumulates excess fat, D, all of the above. So this is something I talked about in the last class, so I think you guys should be able to answer this question. Okay, let's see. So the poll is now live on your screen. Okay, 34% of you have voted so far. Which mouse pointer are you talking about, Pranav? There's no mouse pointer, and there's no mouse pointer on my iPad. Okay, 5 seconds and I'm closing the poll. Yeah, 5 seconds and I'm closing the poll. 3, 2, 1, and let's stop. Let's see. Okay, so 49% of you think C is correct and 40% of you think D is correct. Beta, the correct answer is C. It accumulates excess of fat. Simple yaar, kal bhi bataya tha maine. When did I say that the liver starts producing more bile, or it starts storing excess of glycogen because of alcoholism? I never mentioned that. I straight up told you that once the alcohol reaches the liver, fat is synthesized out of it, and what happens is okay, your liver turns into, your normal healthy liver turns into a fatty liver, and then that later gets converted into liver cirrhosis. Okay, so the correct answer for this is accumulates excess fats. The correct answer is accumulates excess fat. Okay, no, Pranav. Okay, so those were a couple of revision questions just to get you guys warmed up. So today, what are we going to do? Today we are going to talk about drug abuse or drug addiction. So first we'll be looking at what exactly is a drug. Then we'll be looking at what exactly is drug abuse, what exactly is drug abuse. Okay, and then the last thing that we'll be looking at, what are the different types of drugs, and what effects do they have on our body, what effects do they have on males, what effect do they have on female, what effects do they have on teenagers, which you guys are. Okay, chalo. So I'll be starting the class now. Yes, Vijeta. Yes. Okay, chalo, start karte beta. So let's see now. Okay, so now yeah, let's start with drugs. Okay, so the unfortunate thing is okay, that use of drugs has increased, especially among youth. Okay, it has been observed that use of drugs has increased, especially among youth. It has been observed that use of drugs has increased, okay, especially among the youth. Okay, and this is something that is very troubling. Okay, that over the period of time, if you compare the consumption of drugs among youth from this decade to the previous decade, the growth in drug consumption was almost 30%, which is actually a very, very high number, because people should be much more aware now, right? We have access to all kind of information around us, so people should be more aware. People should be able to make better judgments, but unfortunately, that's not what is happening. What is happening is that despite having much more information, people are consuming drugs at a record pace, at a speed that no previous generation has consumed drugs, and there are multiple factors that lead into it. Right? Internet does provide you with a lot of information, but information can be both good and bad, and information can also be not correct. Right? And unfortunately, the information that is not correct is reaching to a lot of people than information that is correct. So that is one of the reasons why the consumption of drugs has increased rapidly among youth. Okay, and youth includes you to some extent, me also. Now I'm phasing out of my youth part, but take it anyway. So okay, and it is a matter of concern. It is a matter of concern as it could cause many harmful effects. And you guys might have seen movies. Okay, you guys might have seen. I'm pretty sure that all of you might have seen Sanju, which was a garbage of a movie. But yeah, you must have seen how badly affected Sanjay Dutt in that particular movie. Right. So there are a lot of harmful effects of drugs. There are a lot of harmful effects of drugs, and that is why this rapid increase in consumption of drugs, especially by the youth, is harmful for the society, because the society is built on the work of youth. And if your entire youth, or I shouldn't say entire, but if majority of the youth is busy consuming drugs, then that is a very big problem. For example, in US, there was a generation which was known as Generation X. Right, and that generation was there during the 1980s phase, and in 1980s drugs were rampant in US, and as a result of that, that one entire generation got wasted away. And once that generation got wasted away, then US politicians woke up that there's a drug crisis in the country, and then they put strict drug control in the country. Okay, because their one entire generation got wasted away because of drugs. Okay, take it. So now, what is the definition of drug? So according to WHO, drug is any substance or product that is used or is intended to be used to modify or explore physiological systems or pathological states for the benefit of the recipient. So technically, drugs is a good thing, right? Drugs, in layman terms, you can call them medicines. So drug is any substance that is used to, enhance or change how your body functions in a positive way. It should not cause any harm. But when you consume them without a proper medical practitioner's prescription, without their advice, then that's a problem. So the technical definition of drug is, okay, it is a substance that is used to enhance and modify your body, both physical and psychological, in a positive way. So that is what a drug is. Right? Anything. Okay, so basically a lot of drugs that we have right now, they were used for their benefits before, but then later people realize that that those drugs can be exploited also for personal gains, and that is how we have our current drug crisis. Okay, so let's move forward now. Okay, so when drugs are taken for a purpose other than their normal clinical use, okay, in an amount, concentration or frequency that impairs one's physical, physiological and psychological functions, that is called drug abuse. So what is drug abuse? Drug abuse is when you take drugs for purposes other than what they were prescribed for, or in frequency or concentration other than what they were prescribed for, okay, such that they harm your physical, physiological and psychological function. That is known as drug abuse. Okay, so what do we mean by drug abuse? Basically, you can say that drug abuse takes place when you use any medicine or drug for non-medical use. You do not require it, but you are still consuming it. Non-prescribed use, maybe you need it, but you're consuming it without taking a medical practitioner's prescription, without a doctor's prescription. Used for having pleasure. Okay, just because you think that you enjoy it, you are taking it without consulting any official. So that is basically what drug abuse is. So what is drug abuse? When you take any drug, it could be anything, any compound, any substance, okay, for a purpose other than what it is prescribed for, in a concentration and frequency that is different from what the doctor told you to, such that it is harming not only your physical but also your physiological and psychological health, that is known as drug abuse. That is known as drug abuse. Okay. Okay. So yahan tak sab clear hai? Just give me a yes or no, beta. So now you can fire off your doubts in the chat. Okay, I close the chat because I do not want to be because a lot of you send unnecessary doubts. I know that I have not even mentioned any drugs, and some of you will pop up with cocaine and all that stuff, which I have not yet come to. So I'll be opening up chat after I complete a topic, and then you can fire off all your doubts. Yahan tak sabko clear hai? If you have any questions, let me know. If I think that your doubt is not relevant, I would ignore it. Please do not send it again and again. Okay. If you have any doubts, I'll give you guys 30 seconds. You can fire off. Definition of drugs, Athar, we did not understand. But the definition of drug is that any substance or compound, in layman terms, if you want to, so that is a technical WHO definition, right? Obviously, it's going to be slightly complex. In layman terms, if you have to understand it, drug is any substance or product which modifies or amplifies your physical, physiological, or psychological function in a positive way. In a positive way. That is what a drug is. That is what a drug is. Okay? Yahan tak sabko clear hai? Chalo. Okay, let's move forward now. So, okay, if nobody has any doubt, okay. Okay. Chalo. Aage badhte hain fir. Nobody has any doubt now. So, I'll close the chat again. Okay. So, once I'm done with the next one, then is the definition of drugs can be asked in the boards? Maybe, but I'm not sure. State board, most probably not. But I would recommend still go through it here, because I think in your textbook also they have given a roundabout definition of drugs. Okay, chalo. So I've closed the chat again. Okay, so when I'll open it again, then you can ask your doubts again. Okay, so a person who takes a drug for a non-medical use is called drug abuser. So the person who abuses drug is called a drug abuser. And the drugs are called habituating or addictive drugs. And the drugs are called habituating or addictive drugs. Okay? So a person who uses drugs for their non-medical purposes, he is called a drug abuser. And the drugs that the person is using are known as habituating or addictive drugs. There are two types of habituating or addictive drugs: psychotropic drugs and psychedelic drugs. Again, these names are not given in the textbook. These names are not at all necessary from your board's point of view. Okay, so there are two types of drugs. They are known as psychotropic and psychedelic drugs, and they have different types of effect on your body, Okay, let's first start with your psychotropic drugs. So what are psychotropic drugs? Okay, so psychotropic drugs are mood altering drugs which affect behavior and mental activity of a person. So psychotropic drugs affect the mood of a person and the behavior of the person. Okay? So that is what psychotropic drugs are. Psychedelic drugs are different. What are psychedelic drugs? So what are psychotropic drugs? Psychotropic drugs are those drugs which affect the mood of the person. Okay? They can make you very happy. They can make you very sad. They can make you anxious. They can make you depressed. Okay? So they affect with your mood and they affect your behavior, the way you behave. And psychotropic drugs are classified into four categories: tranquilizer, sedatives, opiate, and stimulants. In your textbook, they have only mentioned opiates. So if you are someone who's only focused on board, you can sleep, which half of you anyway do, when I'm talking about tranquilizers, sedatives, and stimulants. Okay. I'll wake you up. I'll tell you when we are talking about only boards related, but your psychotropic drugs are categorized into four broad categories. The four broad categories are tranquilizers, sedative, opiates, and stimulants. And stimulants on all those four have slightly different effects on our body. Okay, some of these drugs you might have heard of before, some of these drugs you might not have heard of before, and some of these drugs you might have consumed also accidentally. Okay, which you would be surprised by. Some of you might have consumed them deliberately also. Anyway, let's see. Okay, so let's first start with the tranquilizers and sedative. So what are tranquilizers? So tranquilizers decrease tension and anxiety and produce a feeling of calmness without sedating and inducing sleep. So they reduce the tension and anxiety and produce a feeling of calmness, okay, without putting you to sleep. And tranquilizer is something that doctors prescribe you. Okay, doctors prescribe. For example, Valium is something that is very common, which doctors do prescribe you, which doctors prescribe to people who have anxiety issues, Okay, so it's not like these drugs, the examples that I mentioned, that is chlorpromazine, Valium, or triazolam, these are actually prescribed by psychiatrists to patients, but you cannot consume them without a doctor's prescription, because if you consume them without a doctor's prescription and doctor's advice, then you are a drug abuser, because these drugs alter. There's a reason why they can reduce anxiety or tension or calm you down, because they're messing up with your brain, So if you consume them without a doctor's prescription, you would have side effects also. Because the doctor would prescribe it in such a manner that you would not have any side effects, and the doctor would only prescribe it for a fixed duration of time, right? So that you do not become dependent on these drugs to calm yourself down, to reduce the anxiety, right? So that is what tranquilizers are. Tranquilizers decrease tension and anxiety, and they produce a feeling of calmness without putting you to sleep. Examples are chlorpromazine, Valium, and Triazolam. So I don't know if any of you have ever been to a psychiatrist, doctor of such nature. So if any of you have anxiety issues, if you have been to such a doctor, the doctor would, if you look at the tablets that the doctor will prescribe, you will see one of these three as the constituents of your tablets. Okay? Anyway, so that is what tranquilizers are. Now let's move to sedatives. What are sedatives? Okay, so sedatives reduce excitement, assuage pain. Assuage pain का मतलब क्या? Reduce pain. ठीक है? I'm sorry, I should have used reduce there. Assuage pain and lower the physiological or functional activity, leading to drowsiness or sleep. So sedative put you to sleep. That is a key difference between tranquilizers and sedative. Okay? So tranquilizers, they calm you down, they reduce the anxiety, but they do not induce sleep. But your sedatives not only do the same thing, but they also put you to sleep. So some people who have insomnia, they are given sleeping pills. They are given sleeping pills by the doctor. And those sleeping pills, okay, contain barbiturates. Barbiturates are a class of compounds which are present in sleeping pills. Okay, and another example is benzodiazepines. Okay, so these are two examples of sedatives. So they are given to people to put them to sleep and to calm them down. And the key difference between tranquilizers and sedative is that tranquilizers calm you down but do not put you to sleep, while sedatives are much more, they are stronger in nature. They are much stronger in nature and they put you to sleep. So sleeping pills, they come under sedative and they contain a class of compounds known as barbiturates. Okay? Okay. So far so good, beta. Again, I have opened up the chat. If you have any doubts, jahan maine pucha hai. If anybody asks question about cocaine, heroin, I'll put you out of the class. Okay? वो सब कराऊंगा, जो पढ़ा है उसका डाउट पूछो. Is this clear to everybody? Just give me a quick yes or no. If you have any doubt, fire off in the chat now. You can fire off in the chat now if you have any doubts about what I have taught. What is barbiturates? Barbiturates is a class of compounds that is present in sleeping pills. Okay, which put you to sleep. Again, sleeping pills is prescribed by doctors. You cannot consume them on their own. You cannot. Pranav, I just told you that do not ask me questions about morphine, cocaine, heroin. सब बाद में आएगा. I'm going to cover all the major drugs. ठीक है? Okay. Advait, not sure, but I cannot comment on that. So barbiturates is a class of compounds which is present in sleeping pills. Again, sleeping pills is something you cannot take on your own. You cannot buy on your own also. You need a doctor's prescription. Okay, because then people become addictive. To them. Okay, and they cannot go to sleep without taking sleeping pills. Okay. No, Pritish, you cannot just go to Apollo Pharmacy and be like, give me sleeping pills. They won't give you because they are addictive in nature. Okay. How do sedative induce sleep? So sedative cause the release of certain chemicals in your brain which calm your brain down, and as a result of that, the person goes into sleep. Okay. What pills are given to depression patients? Vita, I'm not a doctor, so I cannot comment on that, unfortunately. Dhanush, so that depends on what is the purpose and what type of animal we are talking about. Okay, for animals we use both tranquilizers and sedative, but that depends on what is the animal and what is the purpose. Why are we using that particular compound then? Okay. Okay. आगे बढ़ें. Nobody has any doubts, so I'll move forward. Okay, I am ignoring all the unnecessary doubts or doubts that do not serve any purpose. So Anil, ask that after the class here. Okay, explain third point again. Beta, third point is sedative. What are sedatives? Okay, so sedatives are medicines or drugs that put you to sleep. Okay, that put you to sleep. Okay, they reduce the pain, they reduce your excitement level, and eventually you will fall asleep. Unlike tranquilizers, which do not put you to sleep. What are barbiturates? Dhanush, मैं अथर्व को भी समझाया था, फिर से ध्यान दे लो. Barbiturates are a class of compounds that are present in sleeping pills. ठीक है? Yes, Pritish, they can be. Okay, ठीक है. I'll move forward now. Nobody has any doubts? Okay, ठीक है. So again, if I think that your doubt is irrelevant, I'll ignore it. There's no point of sending it again and again. ठीक है? Okay, chalo, let's move forward now. So I'll close the chat again. Okay. So let's see. So that is what your tranquilizers and sedatives are. These are not given in your textbook, so you can choose to ignore them. Now next is opiates or opioids, and this is something that is given in your textbook. So if you're someone who's focused only on boards, this is something that should pay close attention to. So drugs derived from opium along with their synthetic relatives. So opium is a plant. So the drugs that we obtain from them and the drugs that we obtain by synthesizing, by chemically modifying the compounds that we get from opium are known as opiates or opioids. So what are opiates or opioids? They are drugs that we obtain from opium plant, or directly or indirectly. All of them come under opiates or opioids. Okay? So what are drugs that you get directly or indirectly from the opium plant are known as opiates or opioids. Opiates or opioids. And what do they do? Okay? The drug relieves pain by acting on the CNS. Okay? By acting on the CNS, and it is termed as analgesic or painkiller. Okay? Or painkiller. Okay? So it is a drug that relieves pain by acting on the CNS, that is central nervous system, and hence it is called as analgesic. So wherever I use the term analgesic, that means painkiller. That means what? Painkiller. So opioids are painkillers. Okay? And opioids bind to specific opioid receptors present in our CNS and gastrointestinal tract. So there are opioid receptors present in our body. And where are the opioid receptors present? The opioid receptors are present on the CNS and on the gastrointestinal tract. Okay? So what are opiates or opioids? So opiates or opioids are drugs that you synthesize or that you obtain directly or indirectly from opium plant. And they are analgesic, that is they relieve pain. And the receptors for opiates or opioids are present in your CNS and in your gastrointestinal tract. Okay? So what are some of the key opiates or opioids? That is something that we'll be studying. So let's first talk about opium, जिससे हमें drug मिलता है. So opium is latex. Opium, or in Hindi it is called afim. Okay? Or in Urdu it is also called afim. So opium or afim is latex. Right? All of you, I hope, remember what is latex. You guys must have studied it in 5th and 6th chapter of last class. One second, guys. I think my parcel might be here. Okay, sorry, that was not the delivery guy. That was a parent, because today there is 10th standard results, so they were just anxious. Okay, anyway, sorry about that. Yeah. So what is opium? Opium is latex that you obtain from unripe fruits. This is very important. Not from ripe fruits, unripe fruits. These are all unripe fruits. These are all unripe fruits of poppy plant. Scientific name क्या है? Papaver somniferum, and they belong to the family Papaveracea. Okay? So opium is, or afim is, latex that you obtain from unripe fruits or capsules of poppy plants, and the scientific name is Papaver somniferum. They belong to the family Papaveracea. They are reddish brown in color. So this that you see here, that the person is collecting on a scalpel. Okay? And as you can see, this latex is dripping down. The latex is dripping down the unripe fruit. So this is your opium. This is your opium or afim. And Afghanistan is one of the places where opium trade is done, where opium is grown in a very large scale. And technically, opium farming contributes a large portion to Afghanistan economy. Okay, so that is what opium is. So the reddish brown thing that you see there, that the person is collecting on the scalpel, that is your opium, and he is obtaining from these unripe fruits, through which the latex drips down, and then this latex is your opium. Okay. So far so good. If you have any doubts, you can fire off in the chat. So far so good. Just give me a yes or no. आगे मत पूछना ओपीएम के अंदर क्या क्या आता है, वो सिखाऊंगा. अभी तक जो पूछा कोई डाउट है तो बताओ. If you have any doubts, let me know. Do not ask me questions that I'm going to about things that I'm going to teach moving forward. Okay, because that is something that I will be obviously teaching. What comes under opium, उसे बताऊंगा. Yes, Afghanistan is involved in production of opium at a very large scale. Is growing opium in our backyard legal? No. Nobody can randomly grow opium. If opium is found in your backyard, then you would be put into jail. Okay? So legally it can be done, because as I said, opium is a pain reliever. So it is given to patients who suffer a lot of pain during maybe surgery or in some accident. It is given to patients, right? We'll talk about that. So legally it can be grown, but it cannot be grown randomly. Does India grow opium? Yes, India does grow opium, but not as large a scale as Afghanistan does. Why is it illegal? Because then it can be abused, beta, because it is addictive in nature. Okay. Why is it wrong in growing in backyard? Because beta, Pritish, it is addictive in nature. Once you start consuming it, then you cannot get off it. That is why it is banned. No, Pranav, unfortunately till now there are no. Okay, once again, let me see if why only unripe fruit. Yeah, to be honest, I don't have the answer to that, because only if I have to hypothesize, I would say that only unripe fruits produces the latex. Okay. Vijay, these drugs, opium is grown in India, but again, you need a permit from the government of India, and it is strictly monitored. Okay, if we grow a single plant, who will come to know? Beta, first of all, getting opium seeds is not that easy. Plus, if I'm your neighbor and if I see a opium plant going in your background, I am definitely calling police on you. Okay. It's not the costliest plant ever, but yes, it is. It does require certain specific set of conditions, and it does require extreme care to ensure that it grows properly. Okay. Any other doubt? यहाँ तक सबको clear है बेटा? Just give me a quick yes or no. Just give me a yes or no. Prasiddhi, I would say I don't have enough knowledge about that, so I cannot comment on that. Maybe I'll look into it and see. In Afghan, is it legal? Beta, obviously nowhere in the world it is. You cannot grow it on your own. You need a permit from the government to grow it. It's just that, Afghan, from beginning they have been involved in opium farming. Okay, what are the historical reasons for that? That is something that my tiny brain does not have the knowledge of. Okay. Why still it is allowed to grow in most cases? It is better. Pratibha, you cannot grow it randomly. You need permit from the government to grow it or farm opium. Okay, chalo. Let's move forward. So now, okay, so now I'll close off the chat. Okay, so yeah, let's. Okay, no, Bhumika, opium is not same as tobacco, beta. Opium is not same as tobacco. कल बताया था ना, tobacco हम different plants obtain करते हैं यार. Opium is different plant. How can they be same thing? They're not the same thing, beta. Okay, anyway, let's move forward now. Okay, so what does it do? What does opium do? Opium slows down respiratory activity, causes constriction of pupil of eye, decreases glandular secretion, impairs the digestion, produces nausea, vomiting, and sterility. This is what happens when you consume opium without a medical prescription, or if you're addicted to opium. Okay, your respiratory activity will slow down. Your pupils will be constricted. Your secretions of the glands would go down. Your digestion would be impaired. You would feel nauseous all the time. You would vomit, and you can become sterile also. Okay, that means your chance of you having kids would be 0. An opium addict loses weight, fertility, and interest in work. The person shows lack of interest in anything that goes around him. The person becomes infertile, and the person loses weight also. Okay. Some of the main derivatives of opium are morphine and heroin. And now we'll talk about morphine and heroin, something drugs that you guys have heard long before, right? So what are the after effects of consuming opium without any medical prescription? It slows down respiratory activity, causes constriction of the pupil. The pupil of the eye becomes small. The gland secretions of the gland goes down. Digestion is impaired. You will have nausea, that means you will feel like puking, vomiting. You will vomit also, and you will become sterile. You will lose weight, and you will lose interest in work. The main derivatives of opium are morphine and heroin. And the ironic thing is, one of them is used extensively in medicine, and the other one is one of the deadliest drugs that humans have ever known. Right? So let's see what is morphine first. Let's first see what is morphine. Okay. So morphine is an alkaloid of opium. What is an alkaloid? I think you guys would know better than me, because I studied organic chemistry in the last time 5 years ago. So I forgot most of the stuff. So it is an alkaloid of opium. And its chemical formula is C17H19NO3. That is its chemical formula. Okay. Morphine is very effective sedative and painkiller. Okay, it's a very effective sedative, puts people to sleep. Okay, calms them down, and it is a very effective painkiller. Okay, it is very useful in patients who have undergone surgery. However, its continued use causes dependence. Okay, so morphine is something that is actually extensively used in medical practices, where whenever the person has undergone a surgery, okay, to reduce the pain of the surgery, the person is given morphine. But again, it's given in measured amount, so that addiction now, okay, there's a certain concentration which you cannot cross. If you cross that concentration, then the body starts building tolerance, and once the body starts building tolerance, that means now the body is addicted to that particular compound. So it's given at a very measured way, such that pain bhi kam ho jaye, and the body does not build tolerance. So morphine is something, that is why opium was grown in old times, because they saw that when people are in pain, if you give them opium, the pain goes down. That is why opium has been cultivated for thousands of years, because people realize that opium helps in reducing pain. Later on, when people synthesize heroin out of it, then people realize that, oops, we committed a very big mistake, right? So we actually get a very useful product of it, and that is morphine. That is why it's still grown in India, right? So that we can get morphine out of it. We can give it to patients who suffer extreme pain because of being in an accident or surgery or something like that, right? But if you consume it without a doctor's prescription, or you consume it more than what the doctor has prescribed, then your body will build tolerance. Once your body will build tolerance, then you will get addicted to the drug. ठीक है, चलो, ओके, यहां तक क्लियर हुआ बेटा? आई एम अगेन ओपनिंग द चैट. अभी तक जो पढ़ा है उस पे डाउट पूछो. हीरोइन क्या है अभी पढ़ाऊंगा. डू नॉट आस्क डाउट्स ऑन दैट. ओके, इफ यू हैव एनी डाउट्स, फायर ऑफ इन द चैट बेटा. आई होप दिस इज क्लियर टू एवरीबॉडी. जस्ट गिव मी अ यस और नो. अब तक जो पढ़ा है, जस्ट गिव मी अ यस और नो बेटा. ठीक है, इफ यू हैव एनी डाउट्स रिलेटेड टू मॉर्फिन or effects of opium, please let me know in the chat. Otherwise I'll move forward now. Okay, about morphine and effects of opium, I'll be taking doubts on these two topics. Do not ask me about heroin and all that. Is opium fatal when it is used in more amount? Beta, any drug, if you take more than what is prescribed, it can be fatal for you. Okay, is morphine and anesthesia? Dekho, so they are similar, okay, but that's not exactly what it is used in anesthesia. Are both extracted from the same plant? Kishore beta, we get opium from poppy plant. In that opium, the alkaloid that is present, that is morphine. In that reddish brown thing that you saw, when we say take out the alkaloid from it, that alkaloid is your morphine. Who discovered the use of opium? I have no idea, Pranav. I have no idea. Is it available in non-medical schools? Basu, you cannot go and buy it off. Okay, hospitals have to sign a permit, and they have to give in written that how many bottles they have ordered, and they have to give account of each and every bottle, how it was used. You cannot buy it off the medical school. You cannot buy it off the medical store. Okay, it's actually very, very difficult to get your hands on morphine. You need a doctor in your family to get your hands on morphine, and even in that case, the doctor has to be very careful, because he or she has to give account for where did that particular bottle of morphine go. Okay. If we overdose morphine only once, will our body become addictive? Yes, Aditya. Yes. Okay. If you take it beyond a certain point where the body starts building tolerance, तुमने एक बार भी किया है, your body will become addictive. Next time, your body would require more to numb down the pain. So that is why it's, you should not take it without medical consideration, without medical prescription. Okay. Okay, so some people are thinking that poppy seeds are used in food also. Beta, that is something I do not have enough information about that particular aspect of poppy seed. I'm just telling about the drugs that we get from poppy. Okay, can we prepare morphine artificially? To my knowledge, no, but there are synthetic opiates present now. Okay, but exactly morphine can be synthesized, I don't think so. Okay. If I met an accident and doctor uses morphine, will I become sterile? No, beta, doctors are not stupid. Doctors will give you an amount such that your tolerance does not build. You will start become sterile once your body becomes dependent on it and you consume it for a specific period of time. Okay. Is the painkiller temporary? Yes, obviously, Priya. It subsidizes the pain for that particular moment. Okay. Okay. Yes, Ashwin. Yes. Okay. So, yahan tak sabko clear hai? Chalo. Okay. Is morphine juice of poppy, beta? वो latex देखा था, that slurry type of thing that we're collecting, the latex. In that latex, the alkaloid is the morphine. The alkaloid compound is the morphine. Okay, it's not a juice. Okay, it's not a juice. Okay, opium. What is opium? Ashwin, opium was that latex that we were getting, was a reddish brown thing. That whole thing is latex. उसके अंदर से तुम morphine बना सकते हो, heroin बना सकते हो. You can make multiple things. Okay. No, Pranav. So this is not local anesthesia, beta. Yeah, once you take it, it numbs down pain all over your body. It doesn't numb down pain at a specific point. Okay. Okay. Chalo. Sakshi is asking, is opium solid or liquid? Sakshi, what did you infer from the image that I showed you? That reddish brown thing that you were saying. What did you think it was? Solid or liquid? Okay. Chalo. So I'll close out the chat now. Okay, I'll close out the chat. So I hope yahan tak sabko clear hai. So that was your morphine. Okay. Now let's move to the deadlier version of morphine, that is heroin. Okay, that is heroin. Okay, so heroin is commonly called smack. It's very important to remember the common name also, smack, because question pe smack pe bhi aa sakta hai. So confusion nahi hona, smack kya hota hai. Okay, smack is nothing but heroin, and it is chemically diacetyl morphine. So you add two acetyl groups to morphine and you end up with heroin. Okay, which is white, odorless, bitter crystalline compound. So we get heroin from morphine. You take morphine, you put two acetyl groups to morphine, and you end up with heroin or smack. And it is white, it is colorless, and it is bitter. Okay? So it is obtained by acetylation of morphine. Obviously, since it is diacetyl morphine, you obtain it by acetylation of morphine. What is acetylation? I hope all of you know. Okay, if you do not know, you can ask Nishikant sir about it. Okay? It is highly addictive and therefore considered the most dangerous opiate. You take heroin once, you would be addicted to it. You take heroin once, you would be addicted to it. You would want to go back again and again. Heroin is taken orally, inhaled, or injected. And in this figure, as you can see, the person is injecting. The person is injecting heroin. So what you do is that you take heroin, you heat it up, okay, and then you inject it, Okay, so heroin or smack is obtained by acetylation of morphine. It is odorless, it is colorless, okay, it is a bitter crystalline compound. It is highly addictive. It is very, very addictive, and it can be taken orally. You can taste it, you can put it on your tongue, you can inhale it, or you can inject it, as a person here is doing. And this person is in a very sad state of life right now. Okay? Okay. So what are the after effects? Its after effects include indigestion, reduced vision, decreased weight, sterility, and total loss of interest in work, and total loss of interest in work. Heroin addicts are careless about syringes and needles for injection, so this may cause hepatitis B and AIDS. That is why when we are talking about hepatitis B and AIDS, we learned that they are transmitted by sharing needles. And the reason for that is they are so out of their own mind that they do not look at the fact that they're sharing needles. And if one of them has hepatitis B, one of them has AIDS, then the other person will also end up with hepatitis B or AIDS. Okay. And withdrawal symptoms. Withdrawal symptoms of heroin include diarrhea, vomiting, shivering, epilepsy. Those are the after effects of those are the withdrawal symptoms. Withdrawal symptoms. What are withdrawal symptoms? When you suddenly cut off the drug to a person, the body starts flushing the drug out of its system, and during that the person experiences withdrawal symptoms. What are the withdrawal symptoms? Diarrhea, vomiting, shivering, and epilepsy. Now obviously some of you would ask, epilepsy, okay, what is epilepsy? I'll explain, but I'll see if any of you know what is epilepsy on your own. Then I'll explain what epilepsy is. So though that is what heroin is. That is what heroin is. Okay, so yahan tak clear hai beta. I'll open up the chat now. So let me know if you have any doubts about heroin. Let me know if you have any doubts about heroin. The chat is open. Okay, yahan tak clear hai. Just give me a quick yes or no beta. Just give me a quick yes or no. Second point. Pranav, I'll come to that later beta. Okay. No author. Okay, the second point, Jyoti, is that when people share needles, right? Abhi jaise in the image in the last photo, you can see that the person is using a needle. To inject heroin in his vein. Okay. So when the person will give that needle to somebody else, if this person has AIDS or HIV, he will end up transmitting it to the other person also. No, Advait, heroin has no medical purpose. Heroin serves no medical purpose. It is not used in medical practices at all. Okay, does overconsumption leads to death? Dhanush, absolutely yes. Okay. Kirtan, heroin is not at all useful in any way. Okay. And why is it heated? It is heated to convert it into liquid form. Because in order to inject it, you need to convert to liquid form, right? Solid thoda inject karoge. That is why it is heated. Okay. Okay. Why does withdrawal shows different symptoms? Because in that case, your body is craving the drug. And when the body is not getting the drug, the body is generating a reaction to it. Why it's not banned? Abhishek, heroin is banned. You cannot get heroin anywhere. If you are caught with heroin, I think that's 10 years of jail if my memory serves right. Right? Okay. No, Kishore, it does not have any memory. Yes, Chetna. Okay. So that is what heroin is. Okay. What is epilepsy? So epilepsy is a disorder of the brain where where your nerve cells activities increase rapidly, and you experience seizures. Your whole body starts trembling. Okay, and you lose control of your body. So that is what epilepsy is. Okay, what pleasure does it give, sir? Dekho beta, the problem with drugs is that it makes you feel good momentarily. So the person, in order to continue to feel good, keeps on taking drugs. But the person does not realize the kind of damage that it's doing to its own body. Okay. What heroin makes a person addictive? All heroin makes a person addictive. What do you mean by that question? Taking it first time also makes you sterile. Beta, koi jadoo ki chadi to hai nahi. It's not like, heroin is like a Harry Potter spell. Like, Avada Kedavra, now you're suddenly sterile. Okay, prolonged use makes you sterile. It's not like heroin directly goes to your testicles and kills off all these sperms. That's not how it works. If you take it for a prolonged period of time, then you become sterile. Okay, Athar, not at all interested. Do not ask me stupid questions like this. Okay, if you're interested in stupid stuff like that, you can sit out the class. I have no issues with that. Okay, I have no interest in somebody else's life, so please do not ask me questions about that. Okay. I'll move forward now. Vineet, I'll be coming to that later. Yes, Kishore, it is in powder form. Okay, chalo. I'll move forward now. So now I'll close the chat again. Close the chat again. Okay. Okay. Chalo. So now I've closed the chat. So yeah, let's move to the next one. So we are done till three. We are done till three types of psychotropic drugs. Okay. That is tranquilizers, sedatives, opiates. The last one that we have is stimulant drugs. Okay. So stimulant drugs, as the name suggests, stimulate the nervous system. They make a person more wakeful, alert and active, and cause excitement. Okay, so they stimulate the nervous system. So the person becomes very excited. The person feels awake. The person feels excited. Right? So that is why they're called stimulant drug. Okay. But addiction is psychological. Okay, your addiction is psychological. Okay, your brain is dependent on stimulant if you keep on taking them regularly. And withdrawal of stimulant is followed by depression, anxiety, and restlessness. Okay, so the dependent is psychological. That is, your brain is dependent on stimulants, and when you cut them off suddenly, okay, the person will suffer from depression, anxiety, and restlessness. What are the common stimulants? The common stimulants are caffeine, cocaine, and betel nut. Cocaine is something that is mentioned in your textbook also. So we'll be studying cocaine in detail. Caffeine is present in coffee. So technically that is also a drug, and people do become addicted to caffeine. And if you suddenly cut off their caffeine dose, then they do suffer from anxiety and restlessness. Okay, so caffeine is a stimulant, and it is present not only in coffee, it is also present in Red Bull. Okay, actually, if my memory serves right, I think caffeine, no, that's wrong. Okay, no, I was going to say something wrong. So, yeah. So caffeine is present in your coffee mostly, and it is present in Red Bull also. That is why, they say that Red Bull gives you wings, because Red Bull makes you, stimulates your nervous system. It makes you more wakeful. And the reason it makes you more wakeful is because of the presence of caffeine. Okay. And then you have betel nut. I don't know. So betel nut in Hindi is called supari, if my memory serves right. So that is also a stimulant. Okay. Okay. So now let's talk about cocaine. Let's talk about cocaine a bit more. Okay. So coca alkaloid or cocaine is obtained from coca plant, Erythroxylum coca. That is the name of the plant. This is the plant that you see, Erythroxylum coca, and you obtain it from the coca plant, Erythroxylum coca, and it is found in South America. And what it does is, it interferes with the transport of the neurotransmitter dopamine. So dopamine is a neurotransmitter which is responsible for making you happy. So it interferes with the transport of dopamine. Okay? And cocaine is also commonly called coke or crack, and it is usually snorted. So TVs mein dekha hoga, if you guys have seen Urta Punjab or Sanju, you guys might have seen the actors, sniffing that white powder of the table. So that white powder that they sniff of the table, that is cocaine. Okay? And it interferes with that neurotransmitter, that is dopamine, and you obtain cocaine from coca plant, that is Erythroxylum coca, which is found in South America. It has a potent stimulating action on CNS and produces a sense of euphoria and increased energy. It will make you very, very happy. It will make you feel like as if tumne pata nahi Taj Mahal bana diya hai, right? And you will have this increased sense of energy because it plays around with dopamine in your brain, and dopamine is responsible for making you feel happy. Suddenly you feel like as if you're on the top of the world, as if you're Jeff Bezos, who is the richest man on this planet, right? So that is what cocaine does to you. But excessive dose of cocaine causes hallucination, and once you start taking cocaine, you will keep on doing cocaine. So excessive dose of cocaine causes hallucination. You will start seeing and hearing things that do not exist. And what are the long-term effects of cocaine? Depression, tooth decay, damage to nose tissue, because tum naak mein itna ghusa rahe ho, so damage to nose tissue, liver damage, kidney damage, reproductive dysfunction, malnutrition. So those are the long-term effects of cocaine. So what is cocaine? So where do we obtain cocaine from? We obtain cocaine from Erythroxylum coca. Okay, and it plays around with the secretion and release of neurotransmitter, which is dopamine, and dopamine is responsible for making you feel happy. Okay, and it is also known as crack or coke. So common names yaad rakhna, because instead of using cocaine, they can use crack or coke also. So you should know what do they mean by that. Okay, and they make you feel very happy. Euphoria means very, very happy and increased energy. Okay, but again, it is highly addictive. Once you do it, you will keep coming back for more. And as you'll keep on doing it, you will suffer from all these things that I've highlighted, and you will start seeing and hearing things that do not exist in real life. So that is what cocaine is all about. That is what cocaine is all about. Okay. So yahan tak sabko clear hai beta? The chat is again open. If you have any doubts, fire off your doubts in the chat. Okay. Cocaine. Yahan tak clear hai? Is cocaine cleared, everybody? Is cocaine cleared, everybody? Okay. Is cocaine cleared, everybody? If you have any doubts about cocaine, please let me know in the chat. Please let me know in the chat if you have any doubts about cocaine. If you have any doubts about cocaine, please let me know in the chat. Okay, what is hallucinations? Bhanush abhi bola na, hallucination is seeing and hearing things that do not exist in real life. Chocolate contains mild amount of caffeine. Beta, anything that you get from coca plant, that contains caffeine, beta. Okay. Euphoria means, Sampada, are you not listening to me carefully? Euphoria mein bola na, euphoria means feeling of extreme happiness. Okay. Caffeine is present in coffee, then coffee is good or bad for health. Beta, people do have coffee addictions. Okay, and any kind of addiction is bad for you. Okay. Why is betel nut not banned? Because the problem is that, betel nut, it's not very addictive. It is addictive. Like people who start eating betel nut, they do get addicted after some point of time, but it is not that harmful for you, right? It is not just like why. Then you can say, why coffee is not banned, because there are no side effects of drinking coffee. Yes, if you are addicted to coffee, then you stop doing it, then there are side effects. The same goes with betel nut also. Betel nut does not have life-threatening side effects. That is why betel nut is not banned. The same reason why caffeine is not banned, because even though caffeine is addictive, if you keep on drinking coffee, it does not have any side effects on your body. But yes, if you're addicted to coffee, then we stop it, then there are side effects. Okay, but betel nut causes cancer. So Kishore, that does happen, but that happens in very rare cases. Yaar, ab dekho, aise to fir cigarette bhi available. Cigarette also causes cancer, right? But the cause of cancer by betel nut is less than by cigarette. Okay, does any drug have positive effects? If yes, then one second. If yes, then can we have a drug that has no ill effects? Beta, any kind of medicine has side effects. For example, paracetamol is something as simple as paracetamol also has side effects. If you pop more than four paracetamols in a day, your liver will be screwed. Okay. Does cocaine has a particular taste? How would I know? I've never tasted what cocaine tastes like. I don't know what cocaine tastes like. Okay. How people can store cocaine in their body as they're caught at airports? So they think that they're being clever by sniffing out cocaine, by putting cocaine in the shoes and stuff like that. But now when you go through that X-ray machine, okay, they will clearly see whether you have any kind of cocaine in your shoes or not. Okay. Why do they inhale? Why can't they be consumed orally? So beta, the problem is that, drug addicts are very connoisseurs of their art. So they have figured out that if you snort it, then it produces better effect than tasting it. So that is why they snort it. Okay, because they have figured out that if you snort it, it gives you a better effect. Okay. Okay. Tea is also a drug. Tea does not I don't know. I will not comment on that. Okay. Is cocaine taken orally? I think you can take it, but people have figured out that it's better if you snort it, if you want a better effect. Okay, which is actually a bad effect, but should be. Okay. Why people eat lemon after doing cocaine? Kirtan, where did you hear this or see this? I have never seen or heard this. People doing lemon after doing cocaine. Yeah? I don't know. Okay. Why do athletes do drug? Pranav, you're again asking off-topic questions, man. Okay. Chalo. Kirtan, that was a hypothetical question picture. Why does it bleed in node after snorting? So, beta, if you keep on snorting, so what they do is that they perforate your epithelial tissue. That is why it bleeds sometimes. Okay. So I close the chat again. I hope I have answered all the questions. So just to recap all these psychotropic drugs that we have studied, the psychotropic drugs fall under 4 categories. हमने 4 categories पढ़े हैं. Tranquilizers, okay, then sedatives, then we talked about your opiates, and then we talked about your stimulants. Okay. So in tranquilizer ka example, the Valium, Okay. In sedatives we had sleeping pills. Okay. In opiate we talked about morphine and we talked about heroin. In stimulants there is caffeine, then there is cocaine, and then there is betel nut. Okay. So this is the flow chart with which you can remember whatever we have studied so far up until now in the class. So now let's move to psychedelic drugs. So what are psychedelic drugs? Okay. So these drugs change one's behavior, thoughts, feelings, and perceptions without any actual sensory stimulus. Hence, it is called hallucinogens. So psychedelic drugs are also known as hallucinogens because they change your thoughts, behavior, and feeling without anything taking place outside. तुम्हें लगेगा कुछ हो रहा है, right? You'll be like, अरे दुनिया बहुत तेज दौड़ रही है यार, अरे कुछ हो रहा है, right? You will start seeing these visions. So psychedelic drugs are also known as hallucinogens because they make you see and feel things that are not happening in real life, but you will think that it's happening in real life. That is how real it will feel. So that is why psychedelic drugs are also known as hallucinogens, because they change your behavior, thoughts, feelings, perception without anything around you taking place. Nobody is saying anything to you, nobody is touching you, okay, nobody is looking at you, but you will see and feel these things as if something is happening to you, even though nothing is. So that is why psychedelic drugs are also known as hallucinogens. Okay. Hallucinogens in general produce a dream-like state with the disorientation and loss of contact with reality without any true sensory stimulus. बाहर से मैं कोई कुछ नहीं बोल रहा है. You will be in your own dream state and you will lose contact with the reality. Real world में क्या हो रहा है? You would have no idea. You would be in a world of your own. So they are known as psychedelic drugs. Okay? And the main psychedelic drugs are LSD and cannabinoids are the major psychedelic drugs. Okay? So what are psychedelic drugs? Psychedelic drugs are also known as hallucinogens because they make you hallucinate, right? They make you do things, see things, hear things which you have no business doing, hearing or seeing. But since you are in such a dream state of your own, since you have lost contact with the reality, you don't care. You are doing your own stuff. You'll feel like, sitting at your home, you'll feel like, I'm in a train. The train is moving very fast. Okay, why is the train moving so fast? Slow down the train. Okay, the earth is moving way too fast. Slow down the earth. You will do and say dumb things. Okay, so as you can see, irrational behavior. I'm not saying you will run around in your underwear on the outside, but people do that also, right? Once they are in a dream-like state, because nobody knows what is happening in a dream. Yeah. So if in your dream your clothes are on fire, you will take off your clothes in real life because you will think that you're on fire. That is why they're called hallucinations. They will make you do, see and hear dumb things. Okay, so these are known as psychedelic drugs. Okay, so let's first talk about LSD. Okay, LSD is not given in your textbook. पहले बता रहा हूँ. ठीक है? So LSD is known as lysergic acid diethylamide. And it is the most powerful psychedelic drug. So it is the most powerful hallucinogen. It is a crystalline amidated alkaloid and it is obtained from ergot. Okay, it is obtained from ergot. Okay, an extract that you obtain from fruiting body of fungus Claviceps purpurea. That is a parasite on rye plant. So this is a rye plant. And these black things here you see, that is the fungus. Claviceps purpurea. And that is the fungus that gives us LSD. See, humans are so creative that we have got drugs from fungus also. Can you imagine what must be going through the mind of the first person who discovered LSD? Right? So LSD is obtained from fruiting body of fungus Claviceps purpurea, which is also known as ergot, and it is a parasite on rye plant. And what does LSD do? LSD causes horrible dreams, emotional outburst, hallucinogen, chronic psychosis, and severe damage to the central nervous system. 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 So LSD is the most powerful psychedelic drug. It is obtained from a fruiting body of fungus Claviceps purpurea, which is also known as ergot, and it is found on, and it is a parasite on rye plant. What does LSD do? LSD causes emotional outburst, hallucinogen, chronic psychosis. Chronic psychosis का मतलब क्या है? Disconnected from the reality. पहले ही बता रहा हूँ, 2 बार बता रहा हूँ, डाउट में मत पूछना. साइकोसिस क्या होता है? What is psychosis? Psychosis is when you are disconnected from the reality. So chronic psychosis का मतलब क्या? You are permanently disconnected from the reality. You have no idea what is going on around you. You are in a world of your own. That is what is the meaning of chronic psychosis. Psychosis मतलब क्या है? Disconnected from the reality. Chronic psychosis means permanently disconnected from this. Okay? Emotional outbursts. You will suddenly get very angry. You will suddenly get very sad. You will suddenly get very happy. So you like emotional outbursts. You will see horrible dreams, and there will be permanent damage to your central nervous system. There will be permanent damage to your central nervous system. So what are the effects of LSD? You will sweat a lot, increased heartbeat, increased body temperature, dehydration. Psychological effects. You will have hallucinations, sensory distortion, right? As you can see in the image, usko lag raha hai uska haath bahut bada ho gaya, even though it's not. So sensory distortion. Paranoia. Paranoia means afraid, irrational fear. Okay, bina kisi baat ke darna. Okay, so as you can see, that person is hiding behind the window and peeking through the window. Okay, euphoria. Paglon ki tarah. Okay, like run around like madman. And then what are extreme use pe kya hoga? Psychological addiction. You'll get addicted to it. Psychosis. Completely disconnected from the reality. क्या चल रहा है आसपास फर्क ही नहीं पड़ता. Flashbacks. Okay, पुरानी बातें याद आएंगे. Things, your repressed, sad or happy memories, they'll come back. Depression. You'll undergo depression. So these are the effects of LSD. These are the effects of LSD. Okay. Okay. So I'll open up the chat again. Okay. If you have any doubts, let me know. People, just give me a yes or no. LSD सबको समझा क्या? Do you guys understand LSD? Just give me a quick yes or no, beta. Okay. Just give me a quick yes or no. Okay, yeah, the chat is open. If you have any doubts, you can let me know. The chat is open. If you have any doubts, you can let me know. Okay, about LSD or psychedelic drugs in general. Please explain the second line. Please explain the second line. What was the second line, beta? Second line में देखो ये part भूल जाओ, because that is like chemistry part. That is like chemistry part. Amidated alkaloid. That is something that maybe Nishikant can help you with. Focus on this. Focus on this. It is obtained from a fungus known as Claviceps purpurea, and its common name is ergot. Okay, and it is a parasite on rye plant. Are there any medicinal use? No. Psychedelic drugs do not have any medicinal use. Okay, sorry, yeah. Okay, if he feel afraid, why don't he stop using it? Because beta Vinayak, he will feel in beach mein happy also. And once you get addicted, it doesn't matter how it makes you feel. Your brain would want it. So अगर तुम्हें drugs लेने के बाद एकदम घटिया भी लग रहा होगा, you would still take it because your brain is dependent on it, and your brain does not care how it makes you feel. ठीक है? How long will it affect class, sir? Yeah, I don't know. To be honest, I cannot comment on that. Yeah. Okay. ठीक है? Sana, I'll come to that bit. I'll come to that. Okay. Any other doubts, beta? Any other doubts? ठीक है? Any other doubts? Bhumika, I'll come to that. Can LSD be used for medical purposes? No. LSD has no medicinal use. What medicinal use would a doctor get? Here, see, go get paranoid. Here, take this LSD, go get paranoid. LSD has no medicinal use. ठीक है? चलो, आगे बढ़ते हैं बेटा. So let's move forward now. So last that we have is psychedelic drugs. आज करना है या कल करना है बेटा? If you want, I can finish off tomorrow also, and then I can do. What do you guys want to do? Give me a yes if you guys want to do it today also. Because there are 6 more slides. There are 5 more slides. Okay. If you want to finish it off today, just give me a yes, or I can finish it off tomorrow. Okay. What are the long-term effects? नीचे देखो ना, extreme use में लिखा है ना, what are the long-term effects? ठीक है? Okay. 34 people are in the yes, 14 are in the no. So let me just wrap it up today itself. Again, If you have to be somewhere else, you can drop off. I don't have any issues with that. Okay. So what are cannabinoids? What are cannabinoids? Okay. So cannabinoids are a group of chemicals which interact with cannabinoid receptors present principally in the brain. So LSD was the first one, cannabinoids is the second one. LSD was the first one, cannabinoids is the second one, and they react with cannabinoids. They react with cannabinoid receptors that are present principally in your brain. They are present principally in your brain. And where do we obtain cannabinoids from? We obtain cannabinoids are obtained from inflorescence of the plant Cannabis sativa. So from the inflorescence of the plant Cannabis sativa, we get cannabinoids. And the cannabinoids that I'm going to talk about, you guys might have heard of them in movies, TVs, or around you also, right? Some of your friends unfortunately might be taking them also, which is very sad. Okay. So what are cannabinoids? Okay. So what are cannabinoids? Okay. So the flower tops, the leaves, and the resin of the cannabis plant are used in various combinations to produce marijuana, hashish, charas, and ganja. You guys might have heard some of these names on TV, on movies, on your Instagram or Facebook or wherever you are, right? So of a cannabis plant, you can use the flower top, you can use the leaves, you can use the resin to produce marijuana, hashish, charas, ganja. All of them are slightly different, depends on where you're getting them from, but the effect that they have on your body is kind of similar. Bas itna difference hota hai how strong they are. For example, charas is the same as ganja, but it is much more potent. Okay, jaldi effect aata hai, right? So there are slight differences, but all of them produce the same effect. Okay. So how can you do them? They are taken by inhalation, right? That is, you can smoke them like cigarettes. Okay. Or you can eat them also. You can directly take ganja, you can eat it also, right? Some dumb people do that also, right? All people who take drugs are dumb, right? And these are known for their effects on cardiovascular system of the body. And again, since they are part of psychedelic drugs, you will have hallucinations, you will imagine things. The same effects as LSD, but utne extreme nahi hote. They are not as extreme. Okay? LSD is very extreme. You will have the same effects, right? You will feel very happy, or you'll feel very sad, or you will see things or hear things that are not happening, but not as extreme as LSD. LSD is the most potent psychedelic drug. Okay? Now there are synthetic hallucinogens also, like PCP, which is known as angel dust, and MDMA, which is known as ecstasy. And they are also available now, and unfortunately they are much more potent than the naturally occurring cannabinoids. Okay, so the naturally occurring cannabinoids are obtained from Cannabis sativa. They are obtained from Cannabis sativa. You can use flower tops, you can use leaves, you can use resins. Okay, you can use resin of Cannabis sativa to produce marijuana, hashish, charas, and ganja. Okay, you can smoke them, you can eat them, and they have the same effects as LSD, just not as extreme. And now there are synthetic hallucinations also, like PCP, which is commonly on street known as angel dust, or between drug addicts is known as angel dust, or MDMA, which in drug addict circle is known as ecstasy. Okay, so that is what your cannabinoids are. Okay, so is cannabinoids clear to everybody? Beta, just give me a yes or no. If you have any doubts about cannabinoids, just let me know in the chat. If you have any doubts about cannabinoids, just let me know in the chat. If you have any doubts about cannabinoids, please let me know in the chat. Okay. What is the full form of PCP and MDMA? Yeah, PCP and MDMA, those are name of the chemicals here. Okay. So I do not know, but I think you can look it up. Okay. Last point, Harshit, the last point is that PCP and MDMA are synthetic hallucinogens. You do not obtain them from the plant. You synthesize them in the lab. So that is what you mean by synthetic hallucinogens. Okay. Previous slide. Okay. Anuradha, what about in the previous slide? So in the previous slide, cannabinoids are a group of chemicals that you obtain from Cannabis sativa. And they act on the cannabinoid receptors which are present in the brain. Do they lead to death? Beta, dekho, not everything has to lead to death, but they do lead to addiction. And addiction has other side effects, which we have already talked about. Okay, not everything leads to death. Yes, if you smoke ganja every day, you would probably not die, but you will become addicted to it. You would become disconnected from the reality, and you would be screwed for life. Growing them is illegal. Yes, again, growing cannabis sativa is also illegal. They are grown in special farms for which you need permission from the government. Okay? Ashwin has asked questions only about what can be grown and what cannot be grown. I'm slightly worried about Ashwin, man. Okay? Okay? Chalo. So I'm closing the chat again. Okay, one last thing that we're left with this, and that is your doping. That is your doping. Doping is what? When sports persons take illegal drugs. When sports persons take drugs to enhance their performance, that is known as doping. Okay? So another misuse of drugs is what certain sports person do to enhance their performance. Okay, so that is known as, this is known as doping. Okay, and what do these sports people use? Sports people use narcotic analgesics, anabolic steroids, diuretics, and certain hormones in sports to increase muscle strength and bulk, to promote aggressiveness, and as a result their athletic performance. So they will take analgesics, they will take painkillers, they will take steroids. Okay, they will take steroid drugs. Okay, and then they will take diuretics. So diuretics enhance your performance. Okay, by increasing your muscle strength and your bulk. They also take hormones. Testosterone is very common, to increase aggressiveness. As a result of that, the athletic performance increases. Okay? Okay, so I'll repeat this slide again. So doping is when sports persons take illegal medicines or drugs to boost their performance. What all drugs do they take? They take painkillers so that they don't feel pain. They take steroids. So steroid increases their body mass. They take diuretics. What do diuretics do? Diuretics increase the water content in the body. So that they do not get dehydrated. Okay? And then they also take hormones like testosterone, because they increase aggressiveness. And the more aggressive you are, the better you will perform. So those are the things that sports people take. But obviously there are side effects also. Okay, what are the side effects in males? Okay, so the side effects in females, let's talk about side effects in females first. So the side effects in females include masculinization, that is male like features. Breasts will be reduced, menstrual cycles will be irregular, increased aggressiveness, mood swings, depression, abnormal menstrual cycle, excessive hair growth on the face and body, enlargement of clitoris, deepening of voice. So these are the side effects of drugs, of steroids in females. Okay? Masculinization of the body, that is the body becomes more and more like males. Zyada aggressive, the females become much more aggressive. They experience mood swings. Menstrual cycles are not regular. Excessive hair growth on the face. Okay, enlargement of the clitoris. Okay, and deepening of the voice, and the voice becomes deep like that of a man. Okay, what are the side effects in males? In males, it includes acne, increased aggressiveness, mood swings, depression, reduction of size of the testicles, decreased sperm count, potential for kidney and liver dysfunction, breast enlargement, premature baldness, enlargement of the prostate gland, which can lead to prostate cancer. Okay, so these are the side effects. These are the side effects of steroids. In females and males. Okay, so these effects may be permanent with prolonged use. Okay, and in the adolescent male or female, severe facial and body acne and premature closure of the growth centers of the long bones may result in stunted growth. So if an adolescent male or female takes steroids, they will experience a lot of hair on their face, they will experience a lot of acne, and their growth centers of the bone will close, as well as the person will be short. So these are the side effects in, along with all those things. These are the extra side effects. These are the extra side effects in adolescent, that you will experience stunted growth because they hamper the growth centers of your bone. So what are the effects of teen drug use? You will be arrested, obviously. Okay. Then there will be birth defects in pregnant teens. So if you get pregnant at the age of 19, 20 and you are doing drugs, your child will be defective. Getting fired or problems getting hired. You will get fired from the job. If you have a job, then you get fired from it, or you will have very difficult time getting hired. You will lose friendship and family because you're so busy in your own world. You're so busy living with your own world that you lose friendship and family. Serious illness or injury, because obviously when you're in your own world, you will do dumb things, right? You will do dumb things. Let's try to jump off from this 3rd floor. Let's see what happens. And obviously you'll end up with a serious illness or injury, along with the damage to your liver, your kidneys that you will end up doing because of taking drugs. Suspension or expulsion. If you're in a college, if you're in a school, you will be suspended or expelled from your school or college. Okay, so that was a lot. If you have any doubts, one last round of doubts, you can fire off. Now you can ask doubts about any kind of drugs. Okay, any kind of drugs you can ask doubts about. Okay. Okay, so is this clear to everybody? So that is what doping is, and those are the side effects of juvenile detention. So just like adults have jails, for teenagers, that is minor people, sub 18 people, there is juvenile centers. There is juvenile center. Mood swings means what? Mood swings means what? Very happy, very sad. Very happy, very sad. That is what mood swings are. Okay? So with that note, on that note, I end the class. Okay? Important thing hai beta, drugs mat karo. Don't do drugs. Chalo, this is something I'll preach tomorrow when there are more people. Okay? So just give me a quick feedback, guys, then you guys can drop off. Okay? Just give me a quick feedback, then you guys can drop off. Okay. I hope that you guys like today's class. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's class, and I hope most importantly you learned in today's class. Thank you very much for your patience. I really appreciate it. Okay. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Till then, take care, guys. Bye-bye.